Hey folks, welcome to Future Trend Today. It's really great to be back again here. I hope you guys are doing well. Where do I start? Well, it's been a really eventful last few weeks here. I'm essentially just waiting to figure out whether we're in the alt season or not, but it's pretty obvious that we've pretty much entered the alt season. You're looking at everything from Bitcoin right now, pretty much doubling its last all-time high of 2017, 2018. Beginning of 2018. What need I say more? Like, you have Ethereum also over 1900, and lo and behold, our market cap is essentially over $1 trillion, right? So it's past $1.5 trillion mark. I don't necessarily think we're going anywhere but up at this point. The entire space has gained a lot of traction. Everyone's essentially talking about it, from news to celebrities. Cough, cough. Lindsay Lohan and who's the other one? I think it was Khalifa, Gene Simmons. A whole bunch of individuals have been drawing attention to the space in general. Not to mention Elon Musk's tweets about Bitcoin in general, right? So there's been a lot of action in this space. Now, one thing to consider is, where is your attention best served? Is it best served paying attention to everything that's on the news, or is it something that is it best for us to put our attention towards items that are either under a lot of scrutiny right now or not talked about at all? If you followed me for some time, you already know that I have my preferences, but as always, this is not financial advice. This is just my opinion on a few very important topics I'd like to think about from a macroeconomic standpoint, how governments and central banks are going to be taking this whole digital currency conversation, and not to also mention the idea of the direction in which this entire cryptocurrency asset class will essentially pivot to. There's a lot to consider, but nonetheless, I'd like to say, if we've passed the $1.5 trillion mark, this asset class is definitely going to be taken seriously. Now, a lot of individuals have speculated as to how long this bull run would last. I've been paying attention to Twitter. Some articles have been released by certain media outlets that, it may very well take anywhere from the next few months to 2 years. Now, that's highly optimistic. There's obviously a lot of euphoria in this space right now. A lot of individuals are happy because, well, Bitcoin's past the 50,000 mark. So obviously it's pretty much bottle popping everywhere. Everybody's extremely happy and and excited about this space, which is good. But as an individual that doesn't like to go with the crowd, if you find yourself to be that person, you're most likely more cautious than most people. I wouldn't necessarily advise buying anything at an exorbitant height or at an all-time high like Bitcoin is right now. The opportunity to buy Bitcoin was essentially last year in March of 2020, right? So when they hit around the 2,700, 3,000 mark, that was the time to, if you were ballsy, put all your savings. I wouldn't say do that. That was the time to essentially go all out, right? So if that was the case, you would have been enjoying in the gains that everyone's realizing right now. But I like to draw my attention to those items that haven't necessarily popped, so to speak. So anything that is credible, that hasn't necessarily met its all-time high from 2017, end of 2017, beginning of 2018, anything that hasn't met that yet is, in my opinion, depending on the overall suitability or credibility of that project, it's likely worth an investment right now compared to something that has crossed that all-time high mark. Not to say that there isn't any room in assets like Ethereum and Bitcoin and what was the other one? Dogecoin. First of all, I don't take Dogecoin seriously. If you follow my tweets, I make it very obvious that I don't find it worth the attention that it's given, but whatever, I guess, needs to be done to draw people's attention to cryptocurrencies. if it's a marketing campaign, that's clearly successful. So, but yeah, items like projects like Hedera Hashgraph, VeChain maybe might be a long-term play in my opinion. But then again, you also have to look at items like Stellar, the heavyweights like XRP. Like, XRP in itself is very, there's a lot more potential in my opinion because it essentially hasn't even touched the all-time high yet. So we all know that that particular asset tends to move last in alt seasons, but I guess time will tell. Some more news that came out over the past, I think, couple weeks here. Last week, a few companies had put in some applications to have some ETFs listed in the Toronto Stock Exchange, and one of them, or should I say, actually, the Ontario Securities Commission actually approved one of these companies, and that was the one of these firms. That was the, I think it was Prosper. Let me just confirm what that was actually, so we are moving in the right direction. Purpose, there we go. So as stated here in Reuters, I'm going to actually scroll up to show you guys. Reuters dated February 12th. This came out 2 days before Valentine's Day, so Friday. The Ontario Securities Commission has approved the launch of Purpose Bitcoin ETF. The Toronto-based asset management company Purpose Inc. said in its statement to, they confirmed the approval to Reuters in a separate statement. So according to Purpose, they mentioned that, the ETF will be the first in the world to invest directly in physically settled Bitcoin, not derivatives, allowing investors easy and efficient access to the emerging asset class of cryptocurrency. Reading that, it just points me in the direction of, these investment firms and financial institutions are definitely getting their feet wet with Bitcoin, but that's not where the buck's going to stop, right? So depending on clarity and regulation coming forward, it's pretty much anyone's guess at this point when regulatory clarity is going to be actually realized. But the way I see things, obviously the poster boy Bitcoin's getting the front run here on a kind of a test run with investment firms, and they will most likely transition to other more suitable and efficient assets moving forward. But at this point, obviously the asset space, this particular asset class is based on a lot of speculation and perception. So depending on how many people have the most faith in a particular asset, that's pretty much what's going to shine the most. But only time will tell. Most of the items or the assets that I've invested in are rather quiet and kind of working behind the scenes from an infrastructural standpoint, making sure that payment rails are in place, making sure that the remittance market or industry is essentially, the problems that are within the remittance industry or remittance space are addressed, and I feel like that's a good approach to encompass everyone at large. And at this rate, it's like a stage-wise process anyway, so only time will tell. We'll figure it out. Yeah, but this is what they had mentioned. That's great and all. The regulators in Ontario have essentially green-lighted Bitcoin ETF, the first of its kind in North America, I think the world. That's great, but the Bank of Canada has essentially warned that this asset class or this particular asset itself does bear a lot of risk, which is kind of like an obvious statement. So at this rate, I guess we'll figure it out. Here it says in their this article by Global News, recent Bitcoin rally is speculative mania, according to the Bank of Canada, and it states here specifically that they're warning about it. So I, for one, don't fall for the tricks, or if they are tricks, whatever. I don't necessarily get easily swayed by tweets as much, especially when they have a populist foundation or motive behind them. So individuals like Elon Musk, very, very talented, very intelligent individual. A tweet by him makes a market move, right? Is what at least we're driven to believe. I would say that there's probably more under the hood for such a statement, but only time will tell. But yeah, that's at least for now. I'm hoping that at least touch on a few other items moving forward here. Obviously, this here talks about the same article here, but the Canadian firm files Bitcoin ETF on Toronto Stock Exchange. So you guys are welcome to check the links in my description to read more about these, which I'll have them linked there as well. Yeah, I think I'll leave the rest of the topics that I have for another video, but I just wanted to actually draw attention to a newcomer to the Twitter space. Obviously, he's more well known than most and respected as well. He's a former governor of the Bank of Canada, or actually former governor of the Bank of England, and before that he was the former governor of the Bank of Canada. Mark Carney, very respected individual in his space, and I believe he's one of the he played a very key he played a key role in innovative thinking at the Bank of England, and that involved research projects that Ripple was involved with. So if you guys are if you have time on your hands, obviously read up on this guy, give him a follow, and pay attention to his rhetoric if you so please, because these are the little golden goose eggs that we within this XRP community, cryptocurrency space, pay attention to kind of speculate on the direction in which this space will go. But nonetheless, I really appreciate you guys listening in. It's been a while, but I'll try to keep the momentum up. Just let me know in the comments below, though. Like, what are you guys more interested in? Are you interested in the play-by-plays in the cryptocurrency world, technology, or are you guys also interested as well in how to essentially prepare yourself for instances like bull markets like we're experiencing right now? How to essentially set yourself up for success with the right accounts in certain exchanges, and how to secure your assets as well. Let me know in the comments. I'm more than happy to oblige, as I have a little bit more time on my hands now. But I will make sure to I encourage you guys to also follow me on Twitter, as I'm pretty active on there. If you're looking to discuss any topics at all, I'm more than happy to join in conversation. So again, there's a ton of information within the description. Just click on it. All the links in there. I do my best to make sure that they're relevant to the topics I discuss in the videos. And don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button if you enjoyed the content that I discussed today, as well as hitting that notification bell. That would help in at least alerting you when I release any video at any point in time. And yeah, I appreciate you guys' support, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, bye-bye.